The Meisner Summer Intensive at the Maggie Flanigan Studio allows actors to experience the first part of the professional actor training program as originally conceived by Sanford Meisner. In this section of the interview at the studio, Kairis talks about starting the 6-week summer acting program.
My experience in acting before I came to Maggie Flanigan was pretty much just like high school, president of the drama club, things like that. So it wasn't like anything super challenging, and it was just fun. But it was always something that I loved, and when I was like 12, I was the lead in a college production. That was like my lead into things. My family doesn't know anything about acting, so we had no idea how to get into the business. So I was just doing like community. Even my parents didn't even want me to be in it necessarily, but like they knew that I liked to do it. So they found like a community college that I auditioned for. I was like the lead in this community college play, and then it just trickled into high school and things like that. And then we found out that like you should get an agent or something like that in Chicago, so I got one. I had like a one-liner on Chicago Fire and a one-liner in like a movie that was shot in Chicago. I didn't have any technique at all. It was pretty much just like luck, maybe raw talent, and just my charisma. I did take a few classes at like Meisner Studio, and I did like it, but I didn't have any foundation to really use. Also, I'm not 100% sure I love the Strasberg technique. And I studied at like UCB, and I like love comedy, and I feel like there was a part of me that like, which I still love comedy, and it's really hard, and I have a lot of respect for it, but there was part of me that thought I like wasn't serious enough to do dramatic work. After talking to some friends, I've heard Maggie Flanigan come up over and over and over again, and I've always known, like when I studied on like Stella Adler, Meisner, Strasberg, I always knew that like Meisner was something that I wanted to do because I thought I had a really vivid imagination, and I feel like this is the one that really takes advantage of that, so that's how I knew I wanted to do this program. Honestly, I'm not even quite sure I had an opinion of what it meant to be a trained actor. Actors are the least respected art form because anyone can do it, like actually anyone can do it. That doesn't mean you're doing it well or doing it with a purpose, intention, emotion. This training is making me more attuned to who I am as a person and what kind of artist I want to be. Like I don't want to be just an actor, I want to be an artist, and I am an artist, and through that artistry I decide to act, and that's how I do it. So before I didn't have too much of an idea of training, and now I realize how important training is. What do I think it means now to train as an actor? I think it means to just have like a really serious, dedicated, disciplined passion for acting. And you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not like committed to putting in the work and the discipline, you're not going to you might get far, I don't know, but you're not going to be fulfilled, and at least the way that I'm learning to be authentically happy doing my art. That's really what I fell in love with the studio, and it's just such a great culture to be a part of, and it's so welcoming to be as free and expressive and imaginative and as possible. So that's definitely the mark that made me happy to be here. I just love the studio, I love the people, I love what we're learning. And it's not always easy, it's actually most of the time not easy at all, but I'm not here to be patted on the back. I'm here to really learn how to be what I'm destined to be. I definitely just learned a lot about the inner workings of how my emotions run within myself, and how my imagination works, and just how I maneuver with people outside of acting, like how I interact with my family, how I interact with people on the street. It's definitely just opened my eyes to, I'm not 100% there yet, but to knowing more and more of who my authentic self is. I only thought I was going to be in the 6-week program just because I was like testing the waters. What really made me commit to that decision was just seeing how much I did grow in just 6 weeks, and then having the confidence in myself to know that I'm able to take on this task and to keep learning and growing. And even though it might not be at the pace as everyone else, like that's something that I also loved and learned about Maggie. It's like, inherently it's a competitive environment because it's school, right? But you're not trying to compare yourself to others. You're supporting, at least at the studio, it's supportive of one another, and you work and learn from each other because you're partnered, and you just get so much from the other people. So I definitely think that the community that I built over the summer made me, even if I didn't know they'd be going into first year, I knew I could build that same community here because that's just the environment that it cultivates for artists.
Actors who are interested in the Meisner Summer Intensive can visit the studio website to learn more about the summer acting programs. Admission to the studio is based on an interview with the head of acting for the studio, Charlie Sandlin. Interested actors should begin the process by completing the online studio application.